Yo, 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 what is up? Another great day for another great episode of Break into the Future. I'm your founder, your host, Joshua Taylor. What is up? I have my guy here, Bruce the Goose, out of Buffalo, New York. What's up, my guy?
Not too much. How's it going?
Good, man. Excited to be here with you with the dope background. Just for love. The people always want to know, but they definitely want to know who you are, man. Tell them who you are, give your background, all that good stuff. And
Uh, yeah. So by in the metaverse and Web3 world, I go by BruceTheGoose, which is really just a spontaneous name choice. It's now written into the blockchain 1,000 times, and I can't do anything about it. As for background, before getting into NFTs, I came from working every dead end job you can think of, really. Like I had no experience in crypto prior to this, and I want to say, November or December 2019. I was working at a farm, and the owner goes to Florida every winter, so like I couldn't arrange to go down there. I would have had a job working with them down there, but like I couldn't go, so I had to do something. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do something online. And I was trying to break into drop shipping, and as a first time business owner, and I just recently moved back to New York State, and a few other things like banks wanted to charge like exorbitant fees if they would even deal with me to take credit cards.
yeah.
So I was like, well, nobody's going to write me a check to buy something from me on the internet. So got to figure out something. And I'd been hearing more and more about Bitcoin, like, which I've been aware of somewhat to an extent since the white paper was written, really.
Yeah,
And like, I just considered it magic internet money, never really put much thought into it.
yeah,
And so I started researching Bitcoin as an option for taking payments online. And I stumbled onto an article by Engine about the Engine coin ICO and the SDK getting opened up. And I've been a gamer for as long as I can remember, probably since like Super Nintendo was brand new.
yeah.
So like I'm familiar with Engine because they're basically the driving force behind Minecraft being the online sensation that it is. So I was like, well, what does Engine need cryptocurrency for? And why wouldn't they just use Bitcoin? Why do they need their own coin? And so I started reading about their article about it, and they were talking about their interoperable multiverse network and like NFTs as true ownership of digital assets. And like as someone who's put thousands of hours and dollars into video games that I have nothing to show for, like that was it's pretty easy to understand. Like I've spent a ton of money on stuff in games that like are stuck in that game because I don't own it. That game company technically owns all of it.
Yeah.
And so like real digital ownership was like a total eye opener. And then I started reading more into it, and I found my way into the art community and stuff like that. And it was this is going to change everything, really. Like, and so I dove headfirst into it, like probably as headfirst as you can dive. I had $100 left to live on until I figured something out for money. I threw that $100 into Ethereum, started minting NFTs, sold a couple, and I've never looked back.
Yeah. Wow. Now you're here.
Now I'm here.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Thanks, man. There's so much to unpack there, bro. You were literally working on a farm,
Yeah.
right? What were you doing on the farm?
Uh, I guess the closest thing to an actual title I would have would be like property manager. Kind of did like a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Help take care of the animals, general maintenance, landscaping.
that's cool. So you literally went from like the atoms world, like the real world, to like the digital world. That's complete
Yep.
work. Wow. So you were just like, I just need an opportunity, like something to stay afloat, to like make a living. And just so you were a gamer, right? Were you ever an artist or just
I've always been pretty creative, more so writing than visual art, but then I doodle and stuff like that. And I've done a lot of different things digitally prior to getting into NFTs, but there's no real way to sell digital art that I was aware of. And like, I don't have any formal art education or know much of anything outside of crypto about art.
yeah,
So like, I never really saw it as anything really worth pursuing, like any jobs I could have gotten would have been more like easily filled by somebody who's way more qualified than me.
yeah, that makes sense. And so you were drop shipping, you found, went more down the Bitcoin and the engine rabbit holes. Can you explain to the people what is engine, how they converted to being like a token, and then what is an NFT, and they explain that.
Yeah, so Engine they've probably been around for about 20 years now, I would say.
Mhm.
They have a whole suite of different tools at this point, but primarily they were primarily like a community building tool and platform for like online gaming communities.
Yeah.
And then like they did a lot to bring Minecraft into like the online gaming world and developed a lot of plugins and stuff for Minecraft. And then actually wrote the ERC 1155 token standard for NFTs.
Mhm.
Uh, I think in 2018, I might be. I don't really know on that exactly, but now they are uh, they're totally focused on NFTs and gaming, and they're building their own scaling solution called Efinity, and uh, so that the engine coin is the fuel for the engine NFT ecosystem,
Mhm.
which like well, I guess I'll so NFTs. Everyone's probably heard this explanation stands for non-fungible token.
Yeah.
Which, if you think of tokens as like digital coins on a blockchain, then like NFTs are non-fungible. Basically means not interchangeable with similar items. Like fungible is like a dollar is worth any other dollar. You know, like it doesn't matter what $1 bill you have; it's the same as any other dollar bill or 4 quarters or 10 dimes. Whereas a non-fungible token, an NFT, like even if it's two different instances of like the same artwork, for example, like if I do 10 editions of a piece of art, like the first edition is not the same as the 10th edition, and its history of trading and ownership and sales volume or sales value and stuff is all recorded individually on the blockchain.
Yeah. That's cool. And that's when you were just like, oh man, this can be huge.
Yeah. As a gamer, like I was like, this is gonna disrupt the entire like pay to play gaming industry. Like if I could take all the money I've spent in World of Warcraft and sell that on an external market, like I could make a killing. But I can't. Like you can sell your Warcraft account, but you got to do it on like some shady like back alley deal kind of thing. Like
The
and you
dark.
got to wonder if like you're actually going to get paid or the other person's actually going to deliver the items, and then you still got to worry about whether or not Blizzard's going to ban you for doing it because it's against the EULA.
Yeah.
Whereas with blockchain, it's like no, you actually own this. Like you can ban my account on Axie Infinity, but you can't stop me from sending all my Axies to a different wallet and then just getting right back in it.
Nice. What is Axie Infinity?
It's a Pokemon-esque game on blockchain that's fueled by NFTs. By far the biggest blockchain gaming game right now.
Mhm.
Like, in the past month, they've done like probably close to 1 billion in trade volume. Like that's all between players because
Yeah.
they only initially sold, I don't know the numbers, but there's only so many Axies ever produced by the development team, and then since then it's been like breeding.
Yeah.
So everything's P2P at this point.
Crazy. So with the NFTs that you own, you said you minted the first with the $100 you had left in your account. What does it mean to mint an NFT?
So that basically just means like recording a non-fungible token like to the blockchain. So what you're actually doing is you're creating a uh, you're basically registering an item as a token on the blockchain, and that you're adding that data to the blockchain infrastructure, and that the metadata involved points to usually on IPFS an image, which is the actual file or whatever. It's a lot to try and explain in simple terms.
So you're basically validating that non-fungible token on the blockchain, essentially.
Yeah, basically, you're basically registering it as a blockchain asset and allowing its sale and ownership history and whatever to be recorded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the blockchain is essentially just an account, a ledger, a unit of account ledger. So you're just saying, hey, this
Yeah,
is official, register. Psh.
I think the best simple explanation I've ever read of blockchain is that blockchain does exactly one thing, and that's it replaces the need for third-party trust with mathematical proof that something occurred.
Mm-hmm. Say less. Nice, nice. So you minted that first one, right? And then you said you were off to the races. What happened next?
Yes, after I minted the first one, I held on to that. Actually, had that until around Christmas of last year. I gave it to a friend of mine who was like one of the first people I talked to in the space, who helped me get things figured out when I was trying to figure out how to start.
Yeah.
I ended up giving him my first one for Christmas. I was like, I still have this. This one you helped me figure out how to do, and you deserve it more than anybody. So like,
That's
I'm gonna give
awesome.
it to you.
Yeah.
And I minted a couple other ones, and I think the first one I sold was, I think I made like $13. I don't know, didn't well made probably $10 after the transaction fees.
Yeah.
But like that just like absolutely blew my mind. It was like somebody just paid money for my art. Like there's, if anybody's in the audience listening, like as an artist, like that's a feeling that it doesn't matter if it's $100 or $10 or $1,000. Like it's the same feeling. Like somebody just validated that like that's my art and it's valuable because they gave me money for it.
Yeah.
That was just an incredible feeling. And it was like, all right, well, that feels way better than working a crap job. So let's see if I can't keep this going.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just like the community within the art space in NFTs, like even almost 2 years ago now, like was just, it's such a vibrant, like diverse and like accepting community. Like it's unlike anything else on the internet.
Yeah.
What
makes it like that? Why do you think so?
I don't really know. Honestly, like I think it's just because like we're all so like plugged into like the fact that this whole like blockchain as a whole is going to be the entire foundation for the future, really. Like a couple generations from now, it's going to be the internet. You know what I mean? Like nobody thinks about the fact, like what's going on under the hood when we're using the internet. We just use it every day and take it for granted.
Yeah.
And then right now, I think, like I was talking to somebody the other day and they explained it really well. Like 20 years ago, nobody wanted to write an email. Like, why would I write an email when I can just send a letter? You know, like, I think that's where we're at now with like blockchain in general. Like, why would I have a blockchain wallet? I can just have a bank account, you know, like we're like the 1996 internet.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. We're in those late 90s stages, mid to late. That's really cool. I always ask this question, how many people do you think, I always ask on Twitter, how many people are on, like if you looked at crypto Twitter, how many people are in crypto Twitter? How many people do you think talk about NFTs?
A lot more recently. As far as NFTs, I guess under 100,000 people total.
Wow, that's not a lot.
No, it's not. I'd say there's probably more people like in NFTs than that now.
Yeah.
But talking about it actively or like just generally making it a major part of their lives, probably I'd guess less than 100,000 people.
Wow. That's crazy. And what so NFT, they have marketplaces are being established and getting a lot of credibility, raising a lot of money, like Wearable, OpenSea. Which do you use the marketplaces? What do you use?
I use pretty much all of them. OpenSea primarily. I'm starting to use that less though, and moving over to Wearable more because like I don't know. I feel like the more OpenSea raises money, the more focused they are on the money over the people.
Yeah.
And like Wearable's been very persistent about like they want the community involved with like what goes on, and like that's why last summer they launched the Rary governance token because like they want the community to have a say in how it develops.
Yeah, I was on one of their beginning of their DAO calls. It was really cool. Like I was like, oh, there's the founder right there. And like I'm connected with him on LinkedIn. So I'm probably like, hopefully when he gets time, bring him on the show. But yeah, what you mentioned like the community. That seems to be a big part of crypto and just the world we're in, right? That's like been a buzzword for the last maybe 2 years, but really my former company, we've been thinking about it for the last 5-6 years. Why is community so important in the artist NFT community, but in crypto overall?
I think in like as an industry in crypto, I think community is more important than probably in any other industry because without like the support from the people that you're working with or the people you're providing a product or service to, like then you can't really exist.
Yeah.
Like the more you are able or either willing or able to give more control and involvement to those people, the more willing they are to continue to use your product or service and like talk openly about it and be a part of like what goes on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why, like you say, like OpenSea, you feel like when they raise more money, right? They just raise like 100 million. Once companies raise more from venture fund, they're going to get like more greedy. Why do you think that is? It's the vibe versus like get into the money and like get into the community. Why can't it be both?
I think it can be both, but it often doesn't seem to go that way.
Yeah.
And like I don't think anybody had a conversation recently with somebody else saying like I don't think people get rich because they're greedy. I think people get greedy because they're rich. Whatever gets you to that point, you know what I mean? Like some of the like most generous people I know have all sorts of money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like that the inside, like who are you? What's your motive, right?
But at the same time, like I meet people that like have barely enough to get by, and they're doing their best to like support other people.
Yeah,
So it's like if I got enough, then I got enough, you know. And like, why should if I have a cookie and you don't like, you should have half a cookie too if you don't have a cookie.
yeah, interesting. I think like crypto and even like NFT community, like you said, and I'm just getting more and more indulged in the communities. Like, right, I think when there's innovation, you just want to share it. When there's something new, you're just really excited. And technology people in over history has had that kind of culture. Like, oh, yeah, I want to share. Like now, right? Like, crypto is very open source community. That's how tech used to be before, like people started getting very not just competitive, but very the dominance factor, which I have no problem with. Um, what is your you? I think I want to talk about like just the like how early we are in NFTs. Like you were in the game maybe a
So
couple of years
early.
ago. Can you talk about like the magnitude of NFTs? Like a lot of it is like the artist like yourself, but what do you see beyond the artwork?
Oh,
Um, yeah,
there's so much untapped potential in the technology. Like I mean, I'm an artist, so of course, like I think of it from the art perspective first, you know, like. But I don't think we've even like gotten to the tip of the iceberg, really. Like the Uniswap V3 is a perfect example of that. Like they're using NFTs to represent your liquidity position, and you can program like when your liquidity is active or not based on like the price ranges and stuff, which
yeah,
I'm pretty atechnical, so I don't really understand all of that. But it's a great example of the potential that we're not even like really looking at yet.
yeah, exactly. What is Uniswap for the viewers and listeners?
Uniswap is a decentralized exchange for crypto assets. So, like, if you were to go to the bank and trade 20 Canadian dollars for 20 American dollars or equal value, like the bank would have to have, like, you have to get that authorization from the bank, or and they have to have that money available on like either side of the liquidity pool for it. And Uniswap is essentially that, except on a totally peer-to-peer basis, without any. You don't need anybody's permission or any approval to do anything.
Yeah, and that's what makes it decentralized.
Right.
Yeah, I think like you said it before I asked. Like I think that's the difference. That's what blockchain is. That's what crypto is this decentralized world away from intermediaries. Not saying that, but the blockchain is the police. It's the automated technology that is programmable in the code base, right? In the software, in the technology. Um, what what are the in terms of NFTs, right? Like I hear some naysayers talk about like, okay, the like NFTs sometimes are done wrong and how can it be really traceable and with royalties and people making duplicate NFTs. What is your knowledge about that when it comes
Yes.
about
I mean,
that?
that's kind of like in any place that there's a lot of money flying around, there's bound to be bad actors.
Yeah.
But I think the NFT community as a whole does a pretty good job of policing itself.
Mhm.
Like as one example, cannot remember. I think his name's Men in Pixels,
Mhm.
and um he's an LGBTQ artist who does like voxel art, and it's actually like he's really talented. And last summer, sometime, somebody was like copying and pasting his art from Instagram and publishing it as their own work. And like we caught wind of like that's not actually his art, and they were like publicly shunned and banned from Rarible. And
Yeah. How can they get caught? And then what how do you know the differences between the artwork?
so yeah, that's a tough one. Usually, how they get caught is usually just like either the genuine artist like speaks up like, hey, I saw this getting sold, that's my art, and you can go back and like look at their Instagram or their Facebook and see if they have the history of provenance compared to the person who's publishing it, whether or not they have the history of provenance.
Mhm.
Like the actual artwork, there's if you just copy and paste an image, like it's the same image.
Yeah.
So there's not really any way to prove that. But then um again with like the whole blockchain thing, like you can go back and like somebody could copy my artwork, right? And claim that it's theirs. And I very rarely share any of my art until it's been tokenized.
Yeah.
So like if they mint it as an NFT like this weekend, and I did it like last year. I can go back and be like, no, this is right here, like this transaction on the blockchain that can never be changed or modified or censored.
Yeah,
Like that's my proof right there. That's my wallet address.
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Do you think all assets will be on the blockchain in the future? It's kind of loaded, but we don't know.
I think anything non-perishable will be registered on the blockchain in the next decade.
That's crazy. That's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars
Yeah,
worth, like trillions of Bitcoin, trillions of whatever, whatever asset you want to put as the base layer. How does that? How do you think that happens? How does that play out, Bruce the
um,
Goose?
I think it mostly just comes down to like people realizing that, like, yeah, I can have a registered ledger or something at the bank of like, I own this because I have the deed of ownership right here, whatever, and then like the bank burns down and there goes my deed, or my house burns down and like my safe's not fireproof, then like there goes all my important documents. Whereas as long as I have my seed phrases stored somewhere safely for my wallet address, like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter whether it's on my old phone or my new phone or a computer or anywhere else. Like you can always just carry that over.
yeah,
And even then, you can lose access to it, but you can still go back and look at it like it's permanent. Like for as long as the blockchain exists, which I don't see going anywhere in the next 100 years.
yeah. 200 years.
I would think as long as we have the internet and as long as we have electricity, we're gonna have the blockchain.
Yeah, just like we have the internet, right? It's like
Right.
how do you unplug it? It's like just blow up a data center or something. But yeah, how um, what was my question? So in terms of, so basically you're saying everything that on store of record and unit of account that we've done on paper is being digitized and put in proof in the digital space. Yeah,
Yeah, it's already to a large extent everything's being digitized already. So like why wouldn't it, like it makes no sense for that to not be put on the most secure, like unmodifiable, uncensorable uh medium of like data storage that we possibly have, which is blockchains.
yeah. So does that make everything public? What if we want to keep some of our assets and some of our belongings private?
So to an extent everything is public, but at the same time, like you'd be hard pressed to find anybody in this space who could tell you who Bruce the Goose is behind that moniker.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and then if I wanted to, like right now, you could go on OpenSea and look at my account and be like, oh, this is my wallet address. Let me go see everything he has in his account, and then I could like, it's free and instant basically to make a new wallet, and I could do that, not associate it to any like have it not associated with the name Bruce the Goose, and then it's just an anonymous string of letters and numbers.
Yeah, I was in Crypto Voxels earlier, and I was like, man. And then Ready Player Me had this video of this like girl. She was like doing this rap video, and I was like, dang, there's literally gonna be like a physical you and a digital you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely see that happening pretty rapidly.
Yeah,
Like the Ready Player Me is a great example of that. Like you just take a picture of yourself and it's like, bam, here you go. This is digital you.
yeah. Literally, they've like scanned like 20,000 people in practices of this, and like they've done a pretty good job. And Timo and the team, Timu, I'm saying, I hope I saying the names right. My bad, Timu. But yeah, they've done a really good job, and there's definitely other players like Genies. They're launching in like September. They've raised a ton of venture money. So we'll see what the community says about that. But they have cool stuff, and there's a lot of different players. What do you think about like Fortnite, Upland, the closed metaverses? We could talk about metaverses and loop NFTs in there. What do you think about them trying to adapt to what crypto is doing pretty quickly with these metaversal games and like Decentraland, crypto voxels?
I kind of feel like if they don't adapt, then like they're just going to become obsolete. Like
You think of
I don't know
Fortnite
how many,
become
I don't know
obsolete?
how many people play Fortnite, but it's a ton. I
Yeah.
personally don't think it's very good, but that's
Why not?
just my personal opinion. But like, there's like a couple $1 billion a year spent on Fortnite skins, something like that.
Yeah, the kids love it, man.
Yeah, and like, and once people realize like, oh well, if I stop playing Fortnite or I get banned or whatever, then like, there goes my thousands of dollars I've spent on skins.
Yeah,
Whereas if Fortnite was on the blockchain, and those are NFTs. Like you can get banned or stop playing, and you can still then freely transfer those to a new account or sell them to somebody else.
Yeah, it's like your closet. Like if you're in the blockchain, right? It's like I can take these clothes, these skins with me anywhere. They don't
Right.
get trapped in Axie Infinity. They don't get trapped in Minecraft. Right? I can have them anywhere. Even like wearing it in like the real world, but like it's like augmented reality. You could be wearing like this jacket, but you're not really wearing it, but someone can see it on you, even though that's like way down the rabbit hole. But like it's already happening.
Yes. Yeah.
You see it, and like even like different games I've been seeing on Instagram. Like I think Bleacher Report posted it, and like these girls are running down this basketball court, but in their goggles, in their art, the VR goggles, it was an actual like game that they were seeing, but they were showing us like the court and like what they were seeing. It was like, wow, that's crazy.
I don't think we're too far off from getting like good like just AR glasses, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It
the
finally
way
gets,
technology advances, I'd say next couple of years, we're just gonna see like just AR glasses. You just hit a button and then like the whole AR layers right there.
yeah. Snap was trying to do it, but
Yeah.
they were too early. And it wasn't cool yet. I think with this new generation and just like we're getting more used to it, there you can see even like big companies are hot. It's like I feel like metaverse, that word got popular like overnight. But it was like a step. There was little step changes. I mean, I just got in this space like within the last 6 months, but I feel like this last 2 months has been crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
this year has definitely been like exponential growth
yeah,
for the
yeah,
entire space, really.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. What do you think it's? They say there's only like 100,000 plus minus committed NFT artists today. In the next Bitcoin halving cycle, so 2024 5, how many do you think there would be?
Probably a couple million.
50 million. Wow. You know how many art like before this whole NFT craze, how many artists are out there? I'm sure they're probably not registered or anywhere, but you know how many artists there are in the world?
Probably millions, if not a couple billion. You know, like I think just about everybody's got some kind of creative impulses,
Yeah,
and I I never really put much thought into art prior to getting into NFTs, but now I'm kind of like of the belief that everything is art in one form or another. Like,
yeah. It's like what is valuable, right?
yeah,
Like if a buyer thinks something's valuable, even the skins, right? We're like, you're gonna buy some. This kid's gonna buy some $50 skins off his mom's little credit card, parents' credit card. Like, but he or she thinks that's valuable,
yeah,
right? So it's like it's subjective to the owner, um,
yep.
and so
It's
it's crazy.
a very interesting time to be alive and part of it.
Yeah, exactly. What's the future look like for you in terms of like the NFT space? Do you have any big plans? Like what like
I,
what
I
do you
I
do?
don't think I can stop doing NFTs. Like, I can hardly have a conversation with people that like don't understand blockchain, let alone like go work for somebody. Like,
Yeah,
actually, right now I'm building NFT Hub, which is a website that's pretty much the easiest way to explain it is product hunt for NFTs.
yeah, yeah,
Like, uh, came about just because like it was a necessary thing I saw like that we didn't have in the space that would make things easier for people.
yeah.
And I started like early last summer. I initially started it, and like space hasn't gotten any simpler to navigate since then.
Really.
So like there's a public registry of like anybody can go permissionlessly like nearly instantly list any NFT project or platform or resource that they want to.
Yeah.
There's a community calendar that anybody can submit events to. And now that like most of the framework is in place, we're going to start shifting the focus to education, where
Yeah.
like it's like go from no coiner to crypto art in a matter of hours.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. The ramp up needs to be fast, needs to be user experience, needs to be simple. And I think that's the next wave for us is like the user experience getting simpler for NFTs, for metaverses, for crypto as a whole, um, as well. Is the site live?
Yeah, you can check it out. It's nfthub.com.
NFThub.com. Congrats, bro. That's super cool. I'm definitely gonna put it in the notes and just put it like as a kicker so people can remember. That's super cool. I'm gonna check it out.
It's got a lot going on. It was originally just going to be like the directory and calendar, and then I got carried away.
Hey, that's always happened. You're creative. Um,
Yeah,
That's cool. What do you think the I guess a regulation question just came in my head because they've been on the hill going crazy. More talk than action. But God bless them. We're all crazy. What do you think in terms of NFTs that you've been hearing? Like in terms of like possible taxation or regulation or just some type of government intervention?
I think it's going to be really hard to regulate NFTs as a whole because like I mean, they can say NFTs are an asset class, but like there's any different type of asset, like could be a part of that asset. Like it's art, it's video games, it's music, it's about to be movies, like could be
Yeah,
legal documents, could be healthcare records. Like you can't just put that all in one box.
yeah,
There's no like overall simple way to regulate it on one track.
yeah. Exactly. Like you could make like Space Jam, the new Space Jam came out in NFT,
Mhm.
right? Or like an album, like somebody's like old album or even a new album. It could be an NFT, and you could sell 1,000 of them, right? It's like the new album, literally, and then everything else could just be streaming, right?
Yep.
They can get this special edition. Um, that's really interesting. That's cool. What do you think? What do you think about like the big companies getting in on NFTs?
I think in the long term it's going to be good because it's definitely validation for like, no, this is actually valuable. Like this is like a tangible asset. Like Coca-Cola's got an NFT auction coming up this weekend.
I saw their coat, that red coat they had. That was pretty cool. I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely big respect for them for doing what they're doing. Like the 100% of the proceeds from their NFT auction is being donated to the Special Olympics.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I did not know that. I'm glad you said that. That's awesome. Shout out to Coke.
Yeah, that is awesome of them. Like I mean,
All the sugary stuff they sell us, they can always.
there's no shortage of history of Coca-Cola collectibles. Like
Yeah.
people like I know there's a guy in Pennsylvania that like has his house is like converted into a Coca-Cola museum. Like all this different memorabilia and stuff that he's collected over the years.
Yeah, they do have one of the best brands like of our like 100 years or something. Like they're pretty
Mm.
amazing. Cool. Do you have like a favorite NFT besides your own?
Yeah, so I'd say like overall, like if I had to pick one specific NFT to be my favorite, it would be I cannot think of the name of it, but it's the first NFT artwork created by a girl who goes by Undead Lou.
On that,
And like mm-hmm. And I could send you the link when I get a minute, but I cannot think of the name of it. But I remember like it was her first NFT. It was done on Maker's Place, and I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need this!" Like,
yeah.
it's just like absolutely incredible art. And like I tried to get into bidding on it, and then Basilius, I want to say, and Whale Shark, like a couple of like big collectors got in on it. And I was like, all right, well, there goes my chances.
Yeah.
I
So
could have a bidding war with these guys.
yeah. So can we explain like okay, I put an NFT on Rarible or on a marketplace, and like right, I could literally like you place a bid, right, and then like it can go up in price. Like you're bidding like, with other people across the internet, which is the world. Can you explain how it works?
Uh, sort of. It's basically like underneath everything in, well, at least in the Ethereum blockchain and the general NFT space, like underneath all of it is what we call smart contracts, which is basically super advanced if this then that that's like executed automatically on the blockchain and
Mhm.
like is immutable, can't be changed. Like once something's set in motion, it's in motion, there's no stopping it. And so like with auctions, that's how it works. Basically, like I'm committing that I will pay this much for this item, and then if somebody overbids you, then like you either some places you like don't have to put the money up immediately, where like Maker's Place you send the money to the contract and like it's escrowed, and if it doesn't get sold, then like you get the money back. Or like other places, it's just like I'm committing to paying this if the price is accepted, and then if the price is accepted, then that just automatically happens. Like that person gets the money, you get the item.
Yeah, nice. What Do you think, what about the prices? I think some things, do you think some of the prices, to me, I guess, seem astronomically crazy?
Some of them definitely are astronomically crazy.
Like, do you think that there's going to be some type of equilibrium? Like art, it's very subjective, right? So you can't really, I don't know if you can make a market for it besides just true free markets, like what people think it's worth, it's going to get sold for, or will prices go down eventually because there's just so many people, or does it just, it doesn't matter? You can't really.
I think to an extent, like as like somebody who's just getting into the space, I think you gotta like start sort of low, like not too low. Like I tell people all the time, like don't undervalue yourself. You know, like if you want to sell it for $500, list it for 1,000,
Yeah,
and then you might get a $500 offer. But
yeah,
don't lowball yourself because that price history is all permanently recorded.
yeah,
It's like if you sell 10 pieces this week for $100 a piece, and then out of nowhere you're like, oh well, now I want to sell something of similar quality for $1,000. People are gonna be like, no, it says right here like your average price is $100. Like why would I pay 1,000 for it?
yeah. They're like, we know you, we know it's all on the chain, it's all on chain, it's all on the blockchain. What? Yeah, just like you mentioned, new people. If I'm new to NFT, this is the first time I've heard of a non-fungible token. How do I get started? Where do I get started?
I'd say like as a rule, basically at this point, NFTs live on Twitter. Like that's where everybody is. That's why we have the term crypto Twitter. Like
Yeah, exactly.
because Twitter is just like the most open, I would guess, really out of like the main social media platforms. Like Twitter is the most uncensored. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Facebook's Facebook, you know, like they're all running on the algorithms and whatnot. But I think Twitter's the best. And uh, like Jack Dorsey is a very open supporter of Bitcoin, if not
yeah.
like crypto in general. Like he's definitely a Bitcoiner.
Yeah. And they're trying. They're you could kudos to him because of Square, right? Like he knows he needs to decentralize. He knows they need to keep an open platform if they want to keep the communication lines open. I think they learned a lot from like the last 3 years of the former President Trump, and just a lot of the contention and the populist movement. I think he learned as an entrepreneur, like, dang, I need to pivot now. I'm gonna be dead. And kudos to him for making that pivot and like really turning his business around. Even the being remote workers, like he saw that and he did that first in the valley. So kudos to Jack. Kudos to Jack. Hopefully he has good intentions for what he's doing and even what he wants to do in Africa. But yeah, Twitter's lit. What would you even say to that? Like, because Twitter could be a black hole, like in terms of just like
It's a lot of noise.
a lot of noise, crazy people. Should they just go to NFT Hub and learn from you guys? Or
NFT Hub actually does have a built-in social media feature.
yeah,
Just like it works a lot like Twitter. It's a basic news feed. You can follow people. You can add reactions to posts, etc.
yeah,
But it's just like it's NFT focused.
yeah,
It's a lot less noise of like other random topics and
yeah.
there's no ads and whatnot. Like so that's cool.
Cool, cool. What's your 10-year goal like for this NFT world or crypto world or just yourself personally? What else are you
I'd
in?
like to just get back to art, honestly. Like NFT Hub was originally started so like I could get back to art. Because I was like, if NFTs had a product hunt, then like in like a community calendar, I could spend a lot less time trying to track down things because like it's all just so I'm insatiably curious about it and like the innovation is just amazing.
Yeah,
I want to be a
yeah,
part of it, but like it's
yeah,
just so scattered and like disconnected from like there's I don't know couple thousand probably Discord communities that are highly active. I'm in probably 300 something Telegram rooms. It's just like it's all NFTs. Like
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
keep up with any of that. So it's like if you just like, bring it all to me, like put it all in one place, please.
We're gonna make sure we get NFT Hub out there. I love that because I mean, like you said, it's so untapped and it's so early. There's a lot of talent. Like my sister's an artist, but man, you bring her from the physical world to the digital world, she can get so much more exposure.
Right?
Um,
Yes.
how do you like do people need to use digital platforms and digital software to make digital art? How does that work?
To make digital art, yeah, I'd say so. Like, but then at the same time, like you could use Procreate on an iPad and don't need to be connected to the internet, and then like you just already have it.
Yeah.
There's also art.art actually has, interestingly enough, has a blockchain supported register
Hmm.
program where like you can have your physical artwork and then they call it a digital twin.
Yeah.
Like they will register that piece of art on the blockchain and give you a certificate of authenticity, like that's blockchain secured.
That's cool. It's art.art.
Mm-hmm.
Art.art. Cool. I'll drop that in the link too. This is awesome, man. This is awesome. We definitely got to have you back on, bro, for like part two. Like, what happens end of the year? Like, does NFT like spike again? In terms of just like sales volume, we've already went to like 2.5 billion already in the first half.
Yeah, yeah, close to 3 billion, I think,
Yeah,
already
yeah.
this year.
Last year was like in the million, like low
Yeah,
million.
I think last year was 200 million for like the entire year.
Yeah,
So far, the first half of this year, we're pushing 3 billion.
yeah. It's great, and the levels are staying above. We've had huge drop off, but they're staying pretty much higher than they were last year as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
excited to see like as bigger institutions get in and just more individuals too, just to see like what assets will be put on chain and NFTs. Like I'm excited for the first like big artist or even like a mid level artist like actually NFT an album. Like I think
Justin Blau did one a few months ago.
who did one?
Justin Blau?
Oh wow. I think I heard about it, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
did a whole album. RAC has one also.
Really.
Or he's got a couple individual NFTs. I don't know if he's done a whole album. Who else? Uh, there's been a few. Kings of Leon.
They did. That was like earlier this year, like March. Like
Yeah.
in March, like yeah, like it was like before like it was like, yeah. It was before NFT like really popped. Yeah.
There's been some real big names getting into it. I know Time Magazine did NFTs released on Super Rare.
Mhm.
Twitter gave away 140 NFTs of like their artwork of like the Twitter logo.
Yeah.
Reddit auctioned a few of them. Coca-Cola's coming in.
Yeah.
Uh, Kevin Smith recently did one. It's
Really
Jay and
cool.
Silent Bob memorabilia,
Wow.
and I was in a couple bidding wars for them, but like I wasn't about to spend $10,000.
Yeah.
I
How
tried. I was
how
willing to go up to pretty close to that, but I was like, no, once it's over 10,000, like I can't justify it anymore.
right.
But like I bought a bunch of the NFTs in general, but then they called them the smoking tokens.
Hmm.
There's a few different variations of it, and the smoking token platinum, I think there's only 10 of them, and anybody who owns one will be able to have like appear as a cameo in Clerks 3 when it's recorded next summer.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
How
really
is
cool. I was
how is
like, I got to try to get one of these.
dude, that's awesome. Congrats. How has your life changed like since being like leaving the farm?
Oh, it's exponentially improved. I will very honestly say, like, if I had not found my way into NFTs towards the end of 2019, like, I don't think I would have survived 2020.
Yeah.
Like, I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues for my entire adult life, and like, 2020 was a pretty dark time for everybody.
Yeah. For sure.
And so, like, with general disinterest in most of life to begin with, I don't think I could have made it through. But then, like, instead of like dealing with or focusing on and dealing with all the crap that was going on in 2020, is I'm totally immersed in innovation and art and like an amazing group of people. And like, I know that I'm directly involved with something that is inevitably going to change the world and like facilitate a global paradigm shift.
Yeah. That's
And like that has been absolutely incredible. Like,
yeah, Bruce, that's awesome, bro. This is so cool. I could literally talk to you another like hour at least. But this is cool, man. But where can people keep up with you? Definitely NFThub.com. Where else?
uh, Twitter, I'm all over all the time. I'm at XBruceTheGoose on there.
Yeah,
Same on Instagram and pretty much any social media. That's my handle pretty much everywhere at this point. And then Discord, I'm on a lot. The NFT Hub Discord is discord.house, spelled HAUS /NFT Hub.
mhm. Yeah, I gotta get in there.
To
Sure.
make it easy. I think I'm gonna get the discord.io as well.
Yeah.
So that's just like a short link Discord platform where they have like a directory.
Yeah,
But the Discord.house, like I bought that domain because it was available.
scrappy, man. I love it, man. Farm boy to NFT lord. Cool, man. Well, thanks
People
for
keep
your
telling me
time.
I'm a legend in the NFT space. It's like I don't hear legends about me, but if you
Yeah.
say so.
Right. Just keep on creating. Keep on creating. This is awesome, man. Thanks for your time, Bruce the Goose, and we'll talk again, bro. We'll be tweeting each other.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me. Always happy to talk about my experience and my journey.
Definitely, man. It still continues, man. Well, you have a great one, bro. Keep creating and having fun, and we'll tweet each other later.
Sounds like
All right, man. Peace.
a
Yo, Bruce the Goose, that was lit, bro. It's great conversation. I could have asked him like 20 more questions, but NFTs, NFThub.com, at Bruce the Goose on Instagram, Twitter. He's got Discord. When I find out, I'll put in the link. So, hey, enjoy your rest of your day whenever you're watching this, wherever you are around the world. We're breaking to the future, all things NFTs, blockchain, crypto, and a lot more. Love you guys. Hey, you can't do this from the UK. You gotta do like this. I learned it. All right, guys. Love you. Peace.